Well, a very good evening, everybody, and welcome back to KernHighNetwork.com's live exclusive coverage of the Kern High School District's sports in Kern County. Tonight, it is an absolute barn burner. We've been building up to this final league game for quite some time. It was picked on the calendar, about 3 years ago, basically, when we started Kern High Network. This is a big game tonight. The Liberty Patriots visiting the Bakersfield High School Drillers. Good evening, everybody. I'm Vance Palm, joined by the K-Dub crew. K-Dub 1, Kevin Willie, K-Dub 2, Kyle Wiley. This is a big night tonight. And I'll tell you what, when you start to see the gym become packed halfway through the JV game, and then the freshman game was also a barn burner for league titles, you get the feeling like the varsity game is going to be something that is just almost surreal at times. Bakersfield High School in this old legendary gym. There's NBA players tonight. There's a ton of college coaches. There are a lot of high school coaches from the Fresno area down to watch this implication game for seedings. And of course, it's senior night as well. Let's bring in my partner, Kyle Wiley. Kyle from the Kern High School District. Welcome, buddy. And this was a no-brainer as far as selecting this game tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, as we're looking at senior night right here, VP, you see a lot of integral part of the Drillers basketball team, a lot of key seniors that are on their team. You know, you see Shane Jones that's out there. You're going to see Caden Ochoa and Ronnie Stapp, some of the key cogs are part of that team. So very exciting. I want to say happy Valentine's Day. I was surprised by my wife that's come to join us up here in the crew, VP. Makes for a good evening.
This gym tonight is filled with a who's who of Kern County basketball royalty. Below us, to the left of us, to the right of us, still coming in. And it could be one of those nights where I start dropping names, but you never know. There's going to be so much action on the floor tonight that they're all here to see what we're all here to see, which is a fantastic ball game. The Bakersfield High School Drillers, the home team, 18-7 overall, 8-1 in league. The Liberty Patriots, 22-3. 8-1 in league. This is for the league title, and as we mentioned before, the Frosh-Off game was for a league title. Liberty won that 9-1. The JV game was for the league title, and it finished at the last second. The score is still up there, 42-41 in favor of Liberty. So the Patriots under head coach Jeff Hicks looking for the perfect trifecta tonight to make it 3 league titles for the basketball program. Greg Burt trying to stop that, Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely. I talked with Coach Hicks before, and he's very excited about the direction of the team. They're now 22-3, and they're kind of moving in that direction right there, that they think they have the momentum. And Central just dropped in the rankings for the CIF Central section, so that's another interesting thing. So Liberty kind of escalates up into that 2 seed, and then down what you see right here is BHS could play spoiler alert and be in that 3 or 4 seed as well. So a lot of interesting things that can happen with this game. But you can't count BHS out. You can't count Liberty out. I think what's dominant is their guard play. We've talked about that all year. This is the year of the guard, junior guards at that, as we've looked at all year, and we're going to see a lot of them going on right now.
Again, it's senior night. Ronnie Stapp amongst the seniors being congratulated and thanked by this vocal and faithful and loyal BHS crowd. A lot of blue tonight, both teams with dominant blue colors.
I like when you say vociferous there, Vance. Come on.
That's coming later, because this crowd certainly will fit that bill. And talk to Coach Jeff Hicks for a few moments. It's always an interesting time when I talk to Jeff. I coached against his father for a lot of years, who's now an assistant coach and kind of a consigliere for Jeff. And Jeff is as cool, calm, and collected as ever. Tonight he does not have the bow tie. I don't know if that's the just lose it for the get rid of it for the league title game, or if it's
his Frosh soft coach right there is dressed up to the Valentine. Kevin, if you can get the Valentine bow tie and suit going on there, the Frosh soft coach right there at Liberty has it on for him. So
had a great chat with that Frosh soft coach and congratulated him on his win. But in talking with Jeff Hicks, great opportunity to kind of pick his brain a little bit. And I said, hey, look, everybody's here tonight, NBA players, college coaches. We're live streaming it. It's being watched all over, especially for coaches that can't make the trip down here Fresno, but a lot of Fresno coaches. I said, honest question, do they get kind of caught up in that, or just business as usual tonight? And he was honest. He said, no, Vance, this is a big night. It's a league championship. But we know a lot of eyeballs are on us, so we're up for the challenge. I didn't talk to Greg Burt yet tonight, but having known him for 30-plus years, I can imagine he's, as always, just running about 55 miles an hour right down the freeway until we get started here. So what we have is the SWYL league title on the line. The BHS Drillers 8-1, the Liberty Patriots 8-1. Coaching staff shaking hands, players now taking the floor to kind of get warmed up here. Before this game gets rolling, because this is our last basketball game of the season, we do have our All-Star game next month, but this is our last official competitive basketball game, if you will. Want to certainly reach out and thank our sponsors that have been with us all season long through the fall sports and now through the winter sports. We'll start off with Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. Let's talk about that great institution, Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely. Kern Schools Federal Credit Union from day one, and you know this as well as I. For those of you who don't know, Vance was with the Kern 9 Network from day one. Before it was even the Kern 9 Network, you guys started live streaming U-Stand, and KW1 got out there, and Kern Schools was right behind that, sponsoring us and believing in what we're doing, believing in a concept essentially. And now that it's turned into a full-scale product where we kind of become the talk of the town, Vance, of looking at, all sports from soccer to volleyball to wrestling to you name it. Kern Schools has been with us. If you look on the Achieve magazine, you flip it over on the back page, on the very back cover, you're going to see Kern Schools on there. They want to support us in all of our endeavors of publicly proclaiming and showing off our students and all that stuff. So,
how about the United States Army?
United States Army, new partner that we had this year, and it started off with just a little bit. Now they're full scale, and they just re-upped and renegotiated and gave more money so the Kern 9 Network can flow the way it needs to be.
PAF Solar Communications, Premier Lighting. We made 2 phone calls. Both of them said yes within the first minute.
Yeah, absolutely, and they have been faithful fans that support what we do and all of that, and we just appreciate their attention. They're Bakersfield, tried and true, so we appreciate that.
What about our good friends at Raymond's Trophies?
Raymond's Trophies, they do a lot of donations in our basketball all-star game. They help out a lot, but Vance, you say it best, is if you look around town and you see trophies or you see memorabilia, you know that it has got to have Raymond's Trophies right behind it.
And finally, our good friends at Tony's Pizza. For 2 years now, we've had the Tony's Pizza Player of the Game, the Wrestler of the Match, the Volleyball Player of the Game, the All-Star Games. Tony's Pizza is everywhere tonight.
Yeah.
We will have the absolute pinnacle choice tonight between Kevin Willie, Kyle Wiley, and myself for the Tony's Pizza Player of the Game, whomever that ends up being. Yeah. Kyle will go to the school with a pizza box, a gift certificate, and a T-shirt in there, congratulating them in class. So thank you to all of our key great sponsors. And before we get too deep into this basketball game, why don't you take over for our administrations of these schools and the Kern High School District Deans.
So BHS, the legendary David Reese, who's been around the BHS campus and also a huge basketball advocate, as he was on those Foothill teams with Coach Dan Shannon. But you have David Reese as the principal. You got Cheyenne Bell as the assistant principal of instruction. You got Sidney Peterson, the assistant principal of administration. David Carter, the dean of students, is out there. Jeff Scott, the athletic director. Anna Levin, the activities director. And at Liberty, you have Libby Wyatt as the principal. Josh Williams, a great lefty basketball player at North High in his day, as the assistant principal of instruction. The incomparable Ron Priest is the assistant principal of administration. And then you have Tim Davis, the athletic director, and Brooks Slayton as the activities director, kind of round up that crew of the 2 schools' administrations.
How about everybody at the Kern High School District that, of course, they had to sign off on it and give us the green light, but at the same time, they've been continually supporting it, continually giving that infusion of positive reinforcement and making sure that, we have what we need to do. Let's just talk about our administration.
I got to say this. I was in the office the other day with Dr. Brian Schaefer and Stan Green, and Stan and I were actually talking, and Brian Schaefer came in. He's like, what are we live streaming tonight? I'm meeting with the board. So when they turned to something positive, they turned to the Kern High Network, and it was very exciting to get that. And that's when we were covering, Vance, and it's near and dear to our hearts, is the girls wrestling showcase that we did last Friday, which was such a pinnacle moment for the Kern High Network. So it's been a really fun kind of thing. Dr. Brian Schaefer, Dr. Dean McGee, Dr. Brenda Lewis, Dr. Scott Cole, Dr. Mike Zolfa, the superintendency team has really rallied behind the vision of Stan Green, the director of school support services, and my boss, who I have to adhere to. But Stan had a vision, and you've talked to Stan about it. I've talked to Stan about it. where we started day one, where you guys just showed up at Frontier and said, let's give it a shot. But then now where we're at, where we have a social media presence, we're live streaming consistently, we have an Achieve magazine, we have a lot of things going on, and where it's really ballooned up. So Stan had a vision, and we are the products of that vision.
Let's get the microphone on this gentleman to our left here. He was with us on day one when it was 170,005 degrees at Frontier High School for Frontier Aurora Grande, and the man that pushed go, the man that pushed enter on the computer, the man that was on camera doing it all, our good friend K-Dub1, Kevin Willie. He and I have been working together in this local media now for about 10 to 12 years personally together, and he's been on camera the whole way. Kevin, on a night like tonight, it's great to see this enterprise that we have come to fruition.
Oh, it's great. You called me up on a Wednesday, and I talked to Stan about an hour later, and he said, "Oh, show up on Friday at Frontier." So I showed up, and it was all set up, ready to go, and it was nonstop from there.
Get ready, Kevin. Going to be a big night tonight. I'm Vance Palm. Kyle Wiley next to me. That's Kevin Willie. Tonight, Liberty Patriots at Bakersfield High School. A big, big basketball game, and they're still coming in, and we're running out of places for all these bodies to sit. Let's bring up, let's go with 2 players from both teams tonight. Yeah. Kyle, what do you have here for Liberty?
Well, we have Liberty over here, if we're going to look at it. Last game that we had, one guy that really stood out to us was a difference maker in that Centennial game. And you and I talked about it as our Tony's Pizza player of the game. Cameron Burris-Garofalo is one of those guys that flies under the radar because of the Isaiah Hill and the Kadar Wallers that are out there. A lot of the attention is going to go on Hill and Waller, but we also got to pay attention to Javier Gallardo. I had a discussion with Coach Hicks before the game. He said, it's weird. He came at a time where we already kind of had a center, and they're looking at a sophomore who actually is playing JV now. But when Javier came in, we couldn't really develop his inside post game. So he just does the defense, and he just does the rebounding, and he just does that. And it actually completely rejuvenated and changed everything. And Javier Gallardo is committed defensively and committed on the rebounds, and he's not worried about getting his points or anything like that. So it's actually been a big plus to allow Kadar Waller and Isaiah Hill to really do well.
Well, I sure love what you did there. You saved their 2 superstar point guards to the very end. I love that because they have a complete team, and when you accentuate it with the last 2 guys you mentioned, what a power squad for Liberty. Let's take a look at those BHS drillers. Give me 2 names.
2 names that really stand out to look at. I'm just going to say this is I want to see how Shane Jones' athleticism really comes to the game tonight. We saw him last year. He was a difference maker, just his sheer athleticism, what he's able to do. But I also think a guy, and this is kind of going off the radar just a little bit, may not get as many minutes as we saw early on, but he's got a pure stroke and can shoot the ball, is Anthony Dominguez, who was our Tony's Pizza player of the game way back when in November. We hit that game-winning shot against Ridgeview. But he's a guy that could maybe surprise some people with him getting out and maybe to hit a few shots and get going and do his things that he can do. One thing, VP, we just saw coming in here, you know her. She's on the cover of our Achieve magazine, but Lauren Burt just entered the building right now as our Team of Excellence Player of the Year in volleyball in the Kern High Network.
Well, that pretty much sets the stage right there. Yeah. The officials have a fun night ahead of them tonight. It is going to be an action-packed, pressure-packed situation. The officials for the junior varsity game, we're hearing it pretty much every other call simply because of the enthusiasm and the Driller blue blood and the Liberty Patriots red blood. They were really letting the officials know, hey, we're in the house tonight. I expect nothing different for this varsity game. It is going to be a big, big, big one. I see these officials down here giving the word, and the media is all on top of them as well. I think I might take a picture of that if you don't mind. And while we're at it, I think I'm going to take a picture of us 3 guys while we're on the air. K-Dub, what do you think, brother? What do you think? Now that is a cool shot while we're on camera. So, Isaiah Hill, Kadar Waller, the 2 captains for the Liberty Patriots.
You know, you talk about the who's who. You know, you talk about NBA players, and I'm sure you'll bring up the NBA player in the house later.
Tyrone Wallace.
Tyrone Wallace is right there. But if you look behind Tyrone Wallace and a trucker you got one of the best quarterbacks in BHS history, Chris Hannibal, ladies and gentlemen. What a special player. You know, that 2013 kind of overshadows Chris Hannibal sometime. You got Asani Rufus, and winning a state championship may do that. But ladies and gentlemen, one of the top quarterbacks in BHS history. I'll say that Chris Hannibal had his years where he was just a player. And you know that as well, VP, because you called a lot of his games.
How about this? The godfather of pure shooters in Kern County. I'll call him the godfather of pure shooters in Kern County. He's going to be our halftime guest tonight. East High Blade, Texas A&M Aggie, Chris Clayton, our halftime guest. East High Blade, Chris Clayton. We'll talk about East getting a big win last night at Golden Valley. We'll talk about the level of high school basketball here in Kern High School and what it means to see these young players.
And then next to Chris right there is another driller legend, James Woolfolk, who is on the football field, is just as dynamic. And if you read the incomparable Rick Van Horn's book, Friday Night Lights, and you look at that, and Friday Night Heroes collection, that 90s, late 80s, and early 90s driller football teams were among the best teams ever in the Central section.
The ROTC cadets are presenting the colors.
Love this, VP.
And once again, we welcome everybody here on the KernHighNetwork.com's live exclusive coverage of high school sports here in the Kern High School District. The Liberty Patriots, 8-1, visiting the BHS Drillers at 8-1. League title tonight. Let's listen in and enjoy the national anthem.
Of the national anthem by the Bakersfield Choir and the Bakersfield Pelicans.
Once again, everybody, welcome. Vance Palm alongside Kyle Wiley, Kevin Willie. This is the KernHighNetwork.com's live exclusive coverage of high school sports here in Kern County. It's a big one tonight, our final basketball game of the season. Varsity boys basketball, Liberty Patriots at Bakersfield High School. And the Patriots visiting with a 22-3. Let's say that again, 22-3 record. 8-1 in league against the 18-7, 8-1 BHS Drillers. Here come the starting five introductions. Nick Ellis down on the court.
The incomparable. That's my favorite word right there.
I guess so.
No, Nick Ellis has done a lot of great work working for the
Here we go.
Network, doing it tonight.
Isaiah Hill, arguably the best guard in the city, but we have a ton of great guards, and here comes another one, Kadar Waller, both juniors. Now you have Alex Sonea,
who is my vote against Centennial for Tony's Pizza Player of the Game. He is a clutch shooter. He's one to look out for.
Cameron Burris Garofalo, and then the big fella, Javier Gallardo. There's your starting five. Jeff Hicks, the head coach, Andy Hicks, assistant, Alex Lozano, Ryan Bozard, Andy Hong, Jess Soto, and Ruben Hill. Congratulations to Jess and Ruben for their league championships for JV and Frost Shop, respectively. Now here comes the starting five for the home Bakersfield Drillers. Caden Ochoa, All-Area Player of the Year in football.
He's who's also on that Kernai Network Team of Excellence in defense. Super athlete, getting ready to play safety at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Shane Jones.
And another senior starting for the first time this year, the following senior guard, number 10.
How about this? First start of the season, Jeremiah Johnson as a senior. That's a class move by head coach Greg Burt.
Yep. And he's got the best name in town. I think of Robert Redford every single time.
Gabriel Escobar, another senior guard starting tonight. And another senior at 6'6". A household name here in Kern County, Ronnie Stapp, starting at center. So we're about to get going here.
I'm excited, VP. What a way to finish off. We're not quite yet done with winter, and we'll talk about that later in the broadcast, but at least for basketball, this will be it. What a way to finish off. I think this is going to be customary every year that we finish off with this game. It's just a big game, big excitement.
I talked to Coach Jeff Hicks about the level of basketball now at Liberty High School, with possibly being a trifecta tonight. He said, Vance, it's not just our school. There's a lot of fantastic basketball here in the city. Couldn't agree more, and we're about to see it firsthand. Halftime guest, Chris Clayton, but that's 16 minutes away. Here we go. Liberty wins the toss. Escobar will guard Waller. Drillers in straight up man. Well, back door to start things. Isaiah Hill throws it back out. Oh, ball just slips out of the hands of Honea. So the Drillers might get the first true opportunity to score here.
Got to give a shout out to the Waller family. They shared a picture with the Kernai Network today of Kadar icing his entire body. He was in one of those cryogenic tanks, kind of getting ready for the game.
Corner pass finally ends up in Stapp's hands. Nice pass from Jeremiah Johnson. Caden Ochoa went from the top of the floor all the way to the corner. A great pass to Jeremiah Johnson. Oh, and a bad pass by Waller, stolen by Escobar, and the ball is stolen back by Garofalo, and now it's thrown away. So some sloppy basketball by Liberty so far. Haven't been able to get composed enough to have a true threat at the hoop. 2-0 Drillers, early going.
Yeah, and I think, I like what Coach Burt does. Classy move to start all the seniors, but in a game of this magnitude with playoffs in there, you got to have Roland Banks in there, and eventually we're going to see him come back in.
Escobar pulls the trigger for three, doesn't get it. Rebound, Honea. Kadar Waller down the far side. He's got Caden Ochoa on him. Ball comes down low to Gallardo. Gallardo puts it up, does it go? Soft touch from the big lefty, and we're tied at 2.
Not known really for his offense, but every little point that he gets is huge for Liberty because it takes the pressure off of Hill and Waller.
Great pass again from Jeremiah Johnson to Ronnie Stapp. Starts with Ochoa, initiating the offense from near half court all the way to the corner. I like that pass if you get away with it. Waller, one-hander, out to Honea for three. Off the rim, Gallardo gets the rebound but slips and falls, and that should be, it's a baseline call. I thought it might be 3 in the key, but it's a baseline call. And our first substitution, we're going to see Caleb Reeves into the basketball game for the Drillers. 4-2, BHS up. Just about 2 minutes into it.
And if the Drillers can really hang tight with some of their normal starters like Bakakis and Banks, that would be these are huge minutes for those guys that aren't the normal players that are in there.
Ochoa loses the handle, goes off his shin. So I wouldn't say we're seeing the nerves play out here. I think more is just real aggressive defense. These guys are really getting up in their grill. The very first second after the tip, nobody's taking it easy on D. Not that we would expect them to, but sometimes teams drop back a little bit and try to suss things out. These guys are just in it. Just like Andy Hicks told me, he said, Vance, you know how these guys go. They're going to be into it from the very first second, all over us. Kadar pulls for 2, doesn't get it to go. A battle for the basketball ends back into the hands of Escobar.
The first 3 minutes of the odd quarters, the first and third quarter, is so crucial. Great pass.
Sure was. Super play by Shane Jones. Waller might be in trouble. I think the Liberty crowd thought double dribble, but a bad pass. And here comes Reeves. He gives it back to Stapp. Stapp said, no, I got Escobar down there. I'm going with it. That's goaltending. And here come 3 drillers. We're going to see Josh Geary come in, Costa Bakakis, and Roland Banks. So with a 6-2 lead, Greg Burt goes to the bench and brings in even heavier hitters.
Absolutely. And the valuable minutes to get that 8-2 lead early on was critical for the drillers.
They're going to put Bakakis, Kyle, on Isaiah Hill. That's a great matchup. Hill stops, pulls, puts it up, doesn't go. Rebound, Ronnie Stapp. Here come the drillers. Long pass out front to Reeves. Reeves up and doesn't get it. Over the top, Bakakis. He knows it. Everybody knows it. Love this energy in this gym tonight.
You know, one thing Stapp does such a fantastic job at is passing the ball. Nice little pass over the top. Just
great
has
touch.
great court awareness and knowing the right angles to get.
Athletic play by Caleb Reeves. Knocks it out of bounds.
Caleb Reeves taking advantage of the minutes they get. We didn't see him a whole lot last time, but right now he's doing a great job.
4:38 remaining in this first quarter. It's only 8-2. Liberty's only got 1 bucket, and that was by Gallardo. And they still have him in there. Burris Garofalo being guarded up front by Banks. What a tough matchup that is. But Garofalo Burris, ball deflected, ends up in Bakakis' hand, off the Stapp down the near side. Stapp, cross court. Nice pass in there, up off the glass, doesn't go. An attempt by Reeves. A battle for the basketball, and he has it again, Reeves does. This time out in the corner, a high arcer, doesn't go. Gallardo with the air ball, but it ends up in the hands of Burris Garofalo. He gives it back to Kadar.
How invaluable is Bakakis? He's always around the ball, just a little pest right there. Does such a great job in his commitment to playing defense and doing the dirty work for the drillers.
There's exactly what Liberty's going to need, and the big bucket by Javier Gallardo. A great feed down into the post.
This is an added bonus for Liberty because their offense doesn't go through him usually, but they'll take it right there.
Interesting you would say that, Kyle Wiley.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
speaking with Jeff Hicks in our little pregame, I said, I guess I'm overstating the obvious when I say that the big fella needs to have a premier night tonight. He said, Vance, we are expecting big things from the lefty tonight. And since he has all 5 of their points.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I was talking to him before the game about that just every little thing that he does is just an added bonus because he plays great defense and gets a lot of rebounds.
Stapp drives hard, kicks it over to what he thought was going to be Kobe Olivas waiting for the shot, but a little bit out of his reach. Kadar Waller streaks down the far side, over to Gallardo.
7 points.
Javier has all 7 of the Liberty points, and it's 8-7. Stapp sees what he likes. He pulls. Does he get it? He does. Soft touch indeed. Oh, great pass right in the seam by Hill. That gives Burris Garofalo the free throw shot that he needed. 11-9. Now things are starting to get just a little bit warmer in here. Net's starting to get worked out for the Liberty side. They try to go back door as Roland Banks into the ball game with Jimmy Henry. Henry in trouble, and a quick pass over to Samuel Ackerman. All 3 of those gentlemen just checked in, and they all touched the ball. Ackerman gets the bucket, 13-9.
And Ackerman is lengthy. He's active.
What a great play by Cameron Burris Garofalo. Kadar lost his footing, tossed it up in the middle of the floor. Burris Garofalo saw what was happening, picked off the pass, threw it down the far side to the supernova, Isaiah Hill, and now we'll get to see Isaiah at the line possibly score his first 2 points.
And Isaiah Hill got a nice solid pick by Gallardo right there. You saw running full speed, almost blindside, dangerous play. But
Caden Ochoa is going to check back in for the Drillers for Ronnie Stapp. Isaiah Hill misses the first.
VP, your body language speaks our language we've been talking about for 2 years now. Free throw shooting is going to come down to it. The free throws in the first quarter to the free throws in the fourth quarter definitely comes down to making those extra points.
Hill, second attempt, strokes it. Two and a half remains here in the first quarter. 13-10 BHS. Ochoa across the top. Ochoa into the paint. And they're going to say that's a foul. I believe it'll be on Waller. It is. And fellas, I'm not keeping stats tonight. Sorry.
Yeah.
No dice.
Too quick.
I'm not looking down for anything, man.
Don't want to miss anything.
We'll have a pretty good feel for it as we get close to the end. Top-notch officiating crew here tonight. Of course, they're all good. But sometimes when you get to these big games, you got to go into the briefcase, and they have. Esquivel around the top, backdoor to Shane Jones. Shane lost the handle, but kicked it to Caden. Ochoa had a shot, but gave it up to Shane. Shane floats it up. Does it go? It's off the glass. No. Big rebound by Gallardo. Here comes Isaiah Hill. The more traffic, the better for him. He pulls long distance, but he does not draw iron. Ochoa floats it down to Shane Jones. Jones pump fakes and has the ball stripped. And a great play by Cameron Burris-Garofalo. He stripped it, then tossed it back in, but it actually bounced off his teammate, Hector Gonzalez. 13-10, still the score. Both these teams deep, Kyle, both. Greg Burke goes a little more to his bench than Hicks. There's a shot that's missed by Caleb Reeves. Here comes Kadar Waller. Kadar Waller stops at the elbow. He pulls up, doesn't get it to go. Big rebound. Javier Gallardo. Goodness. Ochoa to the baseline. Off to Jones. A high pass over here to Banks. Banks goes down low. They gave it to him. And we'll see who they call the foul on.
Man.
I think it should be on Hector Gonzalez, but let's see. That's number 25.
And VP, when we were here last at BHS.
Gave that to Gallardo.
When we were here last at BHS, we talked about Banks' game. He's just so smooth and under control, not in a hurry, just took his time right there. And I think he knew what he was doing. He's like, I'm going to get the contact. I'm going to go to the line and get 2 free throws. Get some of their bigs in foul trouble. I mean, he's going up against Hill and Burris and Gallardo. All those guys right there. He's going to draw a foul. Smart play by Banks.
He makes them both, and Ronnie Stapp will come in for him.
Coach Burt has this system where all of these guys know each other's role, and they try to maximize the time they have out on the court, even if it's for a little bit. Superstar replacing superstar.
Now Shane Jones gets the task of guarding Isaiah Hill. Kadar Waller going to work on the baseline. Stops, pulls up. Does he get it? He does not. And it's going to be a foul on Ronnie Stapp, pushing off on Gallardo.
I think it's on Caleb. Is it Caleb Reeves or Ronnie Stapp?
Ronnie Stapp.
Okay.
He pushed it off on the back of...
That's the Gallardo effect. He has 10 points already in the game, and he's just playing out of his mind offensively and getting those offensive rebounds.
15-12. Drillers lead by 3. A minute 07 left in this first quarter, and they lobbed it into Burris-Garofalo, and I think he was going to do just a quick in-the-air pass to Gallardo, but Javier hadn't turned around yet. Ochoa flips it out in the corner. Oh, a wide open look by Geary, passed up, so they go over to the corner of the Bacacas. Now Geary comes it out, brings it out to Stapp. Stapp trying to work on Kadar Waller. That's going to be tough, but he's able to pull it in and get the shot up. Big rebound by Burris-Garofalo. It's a jump ball possession arrow, Bakersfield High School.
I thought there was a few wide open shots right there by BHS. A little too unselfish. That sounds weird, but I think they need to be confident in their shots. And when you overpass sometimes, it may show a lack of confidence.
That's going to be backcourt. And it is. So Isaiah Hill was guarding the inbounds pass, and he timed it with Caden Ochoa's pass. So Caden had to throw it up super high to get it over Isaiah Hill. Ronnie Stapp went to get it, and it slipped off his fingertips. Look at these matchups. Joshua Geary, a sophomore for BHS, guarding Kadar Waller. Caden Ochoa guarding Hector Gonzalez. Bakakis guarding Isaiah Hill. Kadar flips it in the corner over to Burris Garofalo. He wants to take Stapp to the hole, and he loses the handle.
And it's getting a little chippy right now, VP. No, Burris is a little out of his element right now. He had a nice rhythm jump shot earlier, but he just seemed to be out of sorts a little bit.
It was chippy 3 weeks ago at Liberty. We've just been waiting for this game. 25 seconds remains in this first quarter, 15-12. BHS leads by 3. A packed house. People still looking to try to find seats as they're still coming in. A 5-second call. Ronnie Stapp didn't initiate the offense. Greg Burt doesn't like the call. He wants an explanation, but Ronnie Stapp did not initiate any offensive set for 5 seconds.
Until the 5th second, to look at that. So
Isaiah Hill gets hit, and that's going to be a foul. Oh, they gave it to Bakakis. Ronnie Stapp is sliding back into the play there without talking to anybody. He's awfully glad about that. And now it is getting chippy. We've got a little bit of discussion here for the referees. Caleb Reeves trying to grab Gallardo.
No one wants to talk it out. They're just going to play the game. So,
and all of that happened right down by that BHS rooting section. Now Isaiah Hill stops, pulls, boom! At the end of the quarter, Isaiah Hill stops and pops from 3 feet behind the arc to finish the first quarter 15-15. We'll stay here. Wow, what a start. After all of that, Javier Gallardo pretty much carries the Patriots for about 6.5 minutes of that quarter. And Isaiah Hill finally gets his first points from the floor that didn't include the free throw line. And to see his excitement level at the end of the first quarter, he made the shot and just let out an exuberant double fist pump to finish the first quarter. He's a pretty laid-back, mellow guy. If that's any indication of what we've got coming up here the next 3 quarters, whew.
Make sure you go to Twitter at KHSD Athletics to see the highlights and replays, including that clutch 3 hashtag buckets right there by Isaiah Hill. And you're right, VP. If he has 1 inch of space, he is going to be money. So you got to play as tough as you possibly can play right there. So
more luminaries rolling in, including our very own Stan Green. We see the principal of Bakersfield High School, David Reese, talking to his NBA star. I love that. Security guard comes over and gets a selfie. That's great stuff.
I believe that's Tyler Ferguson right there.
It sure is.
So you see him. He quarterbacked time in the NFL as well. So
this is what big games do, right?
Brings out the best.
Second quarter action. We're tied up at 15. Isaiah Hill fell. I'm not sure what the call was. He wasn't back court yet. Did they call travel?
They called it back court right there, and I don't think he was out there, but it did kind of look like a travel right there. So
yeah, I think traveling probably
a little bit more
correct call, right? Just underway, second quarter. Alex Ania comes back in for the Patriots for Burris Garofalo. We're tied up at 15 here on Kern9Network.com. Pleasure to have everybody with us. Banks stops baseline.
Great pass.
Sure was. Caleb Reeves standing in that key for 2.9 seconds, and he got the shot.
You know, Reeves has 4 points off of pretty passes right there. Shane Jones, one of them, and then
they're going to say it's a blocking foul on Caleb Reeves, and if Coach Burt's going to have Ronnie Stapp out there trying to hang on to Kadar Waller, he's going to have to get some help, and that's what Caleb Reeves was trying to do, to take that charge, but they call a blocking foul. Now Kadar Waller will go to the line. One of the two junior guards for the Patriots, and just as Isaiah did, he missed his first free throw, and we're going to see Ackerman, the sophomore, come in for Caleb Reeves.
Love his game and love his energy. Very, very active, very, very explosive when he jumps.
Waller makes the second, 17-16. Bakersfield up by 1, 7:20 to go here in the second quarter. Banks working on Hill. Hill with a great block. Oh, big time defense.
That's a great matchup right there. He doesn't get much better than that. Banks and Hill right there.
Took the words right out of my brain. It doesn't get much better than that. Isaiah Hill guarding Roland Banks. Banks with a nice pass into Stapp. Stapp, beautiful move. Beautiful move. And it's going to be just as much trouble for Kadar Waller to hang on to Ronnie Stapp. The matchups tonight tell the story. Waller wants to go to work on Escobar. Kadar penetrates, kicks over to the corner, bad pass. And Coach Burt is still lobbying for one of these charging calls because that's what he teaches his drillers to do. He'll let a guard go by, but he's got a forward down there waiting for a charge. Hasn't got the call yet. Wouldn't be surprised if we see one soon.
And I think he's getting in the officials' ears right now and let them know about that. But
a big block by Bruce Garofalo. Here comes Isaiah Hill down the front side. Vision is up. Gets past Stapp. And there's a nice pass. Could be a bucket. Doesn't go. But a great follow. Good hustle out there by Gonzalez. And it will be... The timeout was called by Ronnie Stapp quickly. And the head official there, Kenny, caught it. Caught the timeout. That's a good call. He saw it called. 19-16. Stapp was yelling timeout right in front of the official's face and got the call.
That's a great heads-up call. Looking at that, I think Ronnie is just, that what makes him such a unique basketball player is more of his IQ. He's got a great skill set, all that, but his IQ, his awareness, his know-how with little things like that are a coach's dream.
Well, he knew that it was going to be Liberty's basketball in the possession arrow, so he called the timeout quickly. Great job by the officiating crew. Have their eyes on the players. They got it. 6:16 remains here in this second quarter. 19-16, Bakersfield up by 3. Our halftime guest will be the illustrious East High Blade and Texas A&M Aggie, the godfather of pure shooting in Kern County, Chris Clayton. Chris walked into the gym, and that got Tyrone off his feet. Went to pay his respects. That whole pocket over there is
basketball legends, huh?
Bakersfield basketball royalty. Great to see. It's actually quite moving to see all those great players sitting over there. Banks starts it with Ackerman. Ackerman takes a look over to Escobar. Escobar goes to the elbow. They go backdoor to Banks, and that should go. Oh, and he misses the layup. Gonzalez over to Isaiah Hill. Isaiah Hill stops, pulls. Does it go? Back of the rim, look good. Oh, careful, careful. No call, just guys flying around. Ochoa to Banks. Banks comes in, lays it up, and it does not go again. Second layup missed by Banks. Oh, but it's put back in and one. Jimmy Henry follows in there. Banks missed his second layup in as many tries, but credit to Roland Banks for sticking with it afterwards. He caused enough friction in there for Henry to pick up the rock and put it in, and he gets fouled. 21-16, Bakersfield High School with the lead, and that sweet stroke makes it 22-16.
Heard that name, Jimmy Henry. Think of Foothill, right? In the mid-'80s, is just absolute hustler right there. That's a great play.
And you watch Henry later on in the evening. Coach Burt is going to have him in as a defensive specialist. He is a shutdown artist.
And if they can get extra 3 points from him, that's huge.
Gallardo, a great go-to guy. Waller comes in, up the glass. Can he get it? He cannot. Rebound, BHS. Ochoa pushes it, stops at the free throw line, floats it up, air ball. Waller splits it. Look at Kadar Waller go. They go down to Gallardo. He's so strong, and oh goodness, what's the call?
I think it's going to be a foul. I saw Banks wrap around him a little bit.
When I said what's the call, I meant is it going to be intentional?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, you can get him in the second quarter. He wrapped his arms around his waist, and I thought for a second the call might be intentional. Now, Javier Gallardo, who had, if we gave Tony's Pizza per quarter, he already has one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stapp will come back in for Ackerman. At the line, Javier Gallardo, the 6'7" forward. There's some college scouts in here taking a look at this young man. Watch this touch. Did I do it?
You did it. You jinxed
Did I do
right
it?
there. You just ruined it, VP. You got the crowd going. That's all VP right there.
Hey, but it was a soft touch.
Look at this
It
touch.
was a soft touch. It just wasn't long enough.
Oh, man.
We Tony Pizza'd him.
I think we
gave out the award too early.
We've all been there, VP, so Gallardo's had a good game so far.
Oh, what a beautiful back door. And Roland Banks gets fouled this time by Gallardo, and Gallardo, a little bit of a sly grin on his face. He knows he didn't hit him that hard, but Roland Banks did a great job.
I like that Danny Driller is concerned for his safety and welfare, too, as he's got his hard hat on there, and he's looking out for their star point guard.
Coach Hicks now talking to his coaching staff. Gallardo has 2. Banks having trouble getting the ball in the hole tonight.
These 3 guards have all missed their first free throws. On a lot of it, you don't see that where you got 3 star-studded guards. Not be able to convert, be consistent.
So the big fella, Gallardo's got to come out. Coach Hicks absolutely has to monitor that situation. Needs him desperately, but cannot afford to have him get in foul trouble this early. Waller. And they're going to call travel, but he was still dribbling. Yeah. And Kadar's I don't know about all this. I don't know about all this. Kadar, first of all, was still dribbling. So they called traveling, and then he was just upset with himself, so he slapped the ball. He slapped the top of the ball, and they gave him a technical. In a game of this magnitude,
he didn't mouth off, didn't say anything, just sat the ball straight down on the ground and put it on there. It's frustration probably on his own. Didn't get on to anyone or anything like that. Wasn't directing it at anyone but maybe himself.
And as Stapp makes the first of all players to describe as even-keeled, he is one of them. But if anything, the officials certainly making a statement about the remaining 4:36 in the first half and the final 16 minutes.
3 points have got to drive Coach Jeff Hicks insane as he's going to call timeout.
Yeah,
right
absolutely right. So he's got the big fella Gallardo on the bench with a couple of fouls. A questionable technical foul on Kadar Waller, and he's still basically wants to tell all the coaching staff, look, I really don't know what that was all about. So you got Coach Burt working his drillers. You got Coach Hicks.
I think if I'm Coach Hicks right here, I'm not doing X's and O's. This is a mental readjustment that he's got to go through right now. He's got to be able to tell his guys, hey, don't worry about the plays. We're making mental mistakes right now. The talent, the skill level is all there. And I think he's honing in. Maybe he's doing just a little bit, but he wants to refocus these guys right now because I think they're making some silly mental mistakes.
Well, you've got a situation where Isaiah Hill only has 4 points. He's got the long 3 to end the first quarter and 1 free throw. You have Kadar Waller that really hasn't done anything on the
points,
on the scoreboard yet. You've got the big fella that's scored, 11 of their 16 points. So
and we saw Burris Garofalo in a game hit his first 5 shots, and he only has 2 points tonight. So some of those guys that they're used to getting some of the scoring from, not really providing that, but that's a testament to Coach Burt and the defensive plan that they have in there. And maybe it has to do with the rotations that he has in there, that it's synchronized. He goes back and watches the game film and says, hey, we're going to have multiple packages, multiple players, multiple defenders, not just the same guy over and over again.
Ochoa back in the game. Escobar to Jones. They're working it up top. They want to get the ball in Stapp's hands. They do it on a back door, but waiting for it was Isaiah Hill. Now the ball's in Isaiah Hill's hands. That's going to be a tough person to stop. But they do. And Roland Banks, as well as Shane Jones, close in on Isaiah Hill and deny him the bucket.
A lot of athleticism going on right there, huh?
I would say they float the ball in, and it ends up in the hands of Dakota Ochoa. How about this? Welcome to the game, Dakota. Bam!
Get up there and hit a long 3.
Escobar forces the issue, and he's down below, can't get it. Rebound, Patriots. Ochoa on the far side. Puts it in the hands of Gonzalez. Gonzalez. They're going to say traveling. And Coach Hicks is also asking the official about that traveling call, so both coaches having to work the sidelines with these officials. Ochoa out, Ackerman in, Kobe Olivas in. Boy, Coach Greg Burt working that bench. Banks stops at the baseline. Banks in trouble. Over to Ackerman. Ackerman, he's in trouble. They kick it out here, Olivas. Olivas, does he get it to go? He doesn't. Battle for the basketball. It's going to be Olivas with it. Olivas to the paint, over to Stapp. Stapp throws it up. Boom! And a turnover by Hector Gonzalez. He throws the ball away.
Stapp with a big corner 3 right there. Definite momentum shift.
Gonzalez is going to come out, and Garrett Pavletich in for the first time tonight. Kadar Waller back in. It's 28-19, 3:25 remaining here in the half. Banks into Stapp. Stapp throws it up with one hand. Hey, there's 5 points in about 3 seconds or less by Ronnie Stapp.
He's having a heck of a game. I believe he's up to 8 points right now. So 2 threes and that one right there. He's having himself a game tonight for the Drillers.
Waller shaking and baking. How about this one? Oh, I thought that might go. What a great follow, though. A great follow by Dakota Ochoa. No! Oh, it rolls all the way down and back out. Wow, great pass. Stapp with the vision. Beautiful pass. Couldn't be converted. Isaiah Hill.
I love Jimmy Henry right here. His commitment to defense. Oh,
that's a good call. Good call. Coach Burt doesn't like it, but Olivas was not set. Almost. Really close. Really close.
But I'm going to tell you, he may not argue that, but he loves Olivas sticking his nose right in there. That's a great call. It makes him think twice about doing that dribble again, because he's one step away from it being a charge.
Very close. 8 fouls by the Drillers. Isaiah Hill will now go to the line. Dakota Ochoa still can't believe that ball didn't go down. He missed the shot, followed it, it rolled around. Hill makes the first.
And so as Gallardo comes back in right here, VP, he's got to be very, very careful with 2:41 left in there. These are critical moments, but he's so invaluable on the defensive rebounding end, and he's had some good, solid points underneath.
So Coach Jeff Hicks rolling the dice right now with 2:41 remaining. As Hill misses the second, stays a 10-point lead, 30-20. Banks tries to force one down low. Kadar Waller going to go at Stapp. Kadar Waller up, and he misses it, and it's a battle for the basketball, and it is saved out there. What a great play by Geary.
A lot of contact. They're letting him play tonight, VP. I thought there had to be a foul on the initial.
Ackerman saves a bad pass by Stapp and connects. Yeah, you're right. Kadar Waller got hit pretty hard, but there's some consistency, good consistency with these officials. I like it. A big game like this, And here comes another one by Ochoa. Doesn't go. What's the call? And it's going to be Ackerman that gets caught holding down low, hanging on to Javier Gallardo. So the sophomore Ackerman grabbing onto the wrists of Javier Gallardo. And hey, when you're playing against Javier, you got to do what you got to do. That was one of my favorite moves right there.
Hey, it's Charlie horses. It's all that little
that
thing.
Or we'd hang on to the shorts.
Yeah,
I'd hang on to the shorts, and the big fella go up and jump, and we'd hold him down. But that one, Gallardo will go to the line, and if he can make them both, get it back to a 10-point game. He's having a nice congenial moment with Caden Ochoa. He hit the rim. That time he hit the rim.
It's in his head right now.
Stapp throws it in the corner, picked off. Great play by Garofalo Burris, and now how about this? Oh, wow. Burris Garofalo with the pass. And the finish by Kadar Waller. Back to a 10-point game. 32-22. Ochoa in trouble, throws it out to Stapp at the free throw line. That ought to go, and it does. 12-point lead for the Drillers. Waller working up the far side. The sophomore Joshua Geary with the foul. He gets up pretty commandingly, if that's a word. Esquivel and Shane Jones will come in for the Drillers. Petra Gonzalez will come in. No, Gonzalez will not come in. It'll be Bonilla. Waller now makes the first. BHS cheerleaders throwing Valentine's Day bunnies, stuffed animals into the crowd.
And they're going to have a teddy bear toss that we'll look at as
bears. That's sorry, bears, not bunnies. Look like bunnies from here.
And I think they're going to shoot them. There's a box over there that's getting ready to go, so we'll capture that.
As well as our halftime guest, Chris Clayton. Back to a 10-point game, 34-24. It feels like 88-78.
Yeah.
Banks still trying to get rolling here, and that's going to be a travel. Roland Banks has not had his best half of basketball, but he's so talented, so gifted.
So smooth. I think he's staying within himself. He's done some things right, but then at the same time, he's had some turnovers.
Oh. Kadar Waller slipped at least 3 times tonight. It's a dangerous pass already behind the hoop.
We've got about a minute, 1 left in this first half, VP.
Banks throws it out of bounds. Roland Banks would like to forget this first 15 minutes.
Get it out of his system now so that he can be ready to go
Absolutely.
in that third quarter.
Absolutely.
Just play through it, and I think that's why Coach is leaving him in there. He wants to get it out of his system, get his confidence back.
Isaiah Hill, now he's got Stapp on him. What a matchup there, superstars. He's in trouble.
And it's all traveling.
And Caden Ochoa comes in unnecessarily and jumps on Isaiah Hill. And Greg Burt lets Caden hear it. Hill didn't like it either.
Tip.
Oh, wow. It hit the official. How about that? And a foul is going to be called by Caden Ochoa. Is just, I don't know what to say, Kyle.
Yeah.
Some really, and Jeff Hicks wants an intentional, if nothing else, a technical. Caden Ochoa is about to lose it. And Ronnie Stapp, his senior, is going over to tell another senior, hey, man,
we need you in the second half.
what's your deal?
Yeah.
He jumped on Isaiah Hill when the whistle had already blown on this side of the court. Then he just shoved Isaiah right into the stands right now. I don't know. I don't want to say it's personal, but Greg Burt trying to tell him, look, you're a senior, considered a leader, and he's going to get subbed out right now by Jimmy Henry.
Got to keep his composure, especially in this game, going into playoffs. Got to be. You don't want to lose him now, and then you lose him the first round of playoffs potentially. So he's got to keep his composure.
Hill now seems energized. So BHS playing some really good basketball right now. 34-26. They're up 8. All their key guys have been contributing tonight. Roland Banks about to jump on that train here soon. He's got a couple turnovers and missed some layups, but we know that RB's got it in him. He's going to look for a high pick off Ackerman. 14 seconds, 13 seconds left in the half. A good no call there. And on cue, and with 7 seconds left, Javier Gallardo picks up his third foul. 7 seconds left in the half, and the big fella gets his third. Banks capitalizes, three-point play. I know Coach Hicks right now probably frustrated. Look at Isaiah. Hill, hard to the glass, gets fouled with 3 seconds left.
I got to say that is huge for Roland Banks' psyche to be able to get that. He's had a poor first half overall, but that could be the very spark that he needs to get going and really drive the basketball and shoot it. But Isaiah Hill, lightning fast back there, he goes to the line himself. I mean, two special guards that we're watching right now.
Hill makes the first. Back to a 10-point game. And they're going to get Kadar Waller out of there off the floor with 3 seconds left. I don't think they want any fouls on anybody right now. Certainly not someone like Kadar Waller. Isaiah Hill still in the game because he's shooting a free throw, and he makes it to a single-digit game now, 37-28. Drillers. Wow, the clock just ran out.
I think there's 4 seconds on the clock.
There was 3 seconds. And the shot went through, and the clock kept going. Woo!
It's not even home field advantage right there. You helped the visiting team.
No, I think Coach Hicks was like, let's go to the locker room. Let's get out of here. They throw it down. It's picked off. There's a shot. It'll count. So, at the end of the first half, Drillers 37-28. We will take a break. We've got a halftime guest. We have the teddy bear toss.
I think we're going to actually VP.
Just want to stay here, buddy?
We're going to stay here. I know we got a long night, but
you got it.
We told BHS that we would cover their teddy bear toss. So as Clayton gets set up, we'll take a look at this. We'll listen to what they have to say.
You got it. Welcome back, everybody. It's halftime here at Bakersfield High School. The Drillers up 37-28 over the Liberty Patriots. Pretty exciting action here on KernHighNetwork.com. Our halftime guest, I advertise him as the godfather of pure shooting in Kern County, an East High Blade, BC Renegade, Ventura Pirate, then a Texas A&M Aggie, finished at A&M in 2000. He is in sales and marketing for Teltech here in town. And you say you're playing in the grown man AAU. If there's a league, he's playing in it. Welcome, everybody. East High Blade, Chris Clayton. First of all, Chris, your thoughts on this first half?
Well, at first, I think Liberty came out a little slow, and BHS jumped on them. That press is just wearing them down, and Hill is really not getting into the game. And I was telling the guys earlier, if Ronnie plays a good game, Liberty don't have a chance. And he's close to 20 points in the first half.
When you watch the guard play this season here in Kern County, not just tonight's game, but you look at the guards at Ridgeview, there's a lot of guards. If I start naming names, I'll miss somebody. So I just want to talk guard focus here this year in the city. What do you think about it?
Oh, the guard, it's finally coming back. We got a lot of good young guards. So I think definitely in the next 2 or 3 years, Bakersfield's going to be back on map for guards. Like I said, it's a lot of young guards now. Like the guards tonight, they're young, so they're coming back next year. Bakersfield Christian has a freshman guard. There's a freshman guard at Foothill, so it's pretty much guards all around town.
Chris Clayton, our guest tonight. Chris, tell us about your experience in the Kern High School District as an East High Blade.
Well, my experience was great because I didn't have no losing seasons. We won Valley 3 years in a row.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Won league 3 years in a row. So, in all our games back then, I told people every game was like this. Because you remember, all the girls play before the boys. So the girls' games would be like this, and we'd come out, every game packed. It was just a great experience. Kids today don't understand every game was packed like this.
So when you see a night like tonight, you have to probably be going back in time like, man, I remember the day.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, the exciting crowd. I mean, the cheering, got the music. It just, I wish I could play.
Speaking with Chris Clayton tonight, Chris, I see an NBA player, an in-season NBA player sitting over there. There's probably been 200 people stop by and shake Tyrone Wallace's hands. I know he's your cousin, and you guys, everybody was talking to him, but when you walked in the gym, he stood up, and he's like, oh, now the night can start here. Tell us how proud you are of Ty.
I mean, Ty, he loves his hometown. He loves the Drillers. I mean, we have group chats, and we talk about high school basketball so much. He's one of those guys who's made it. He's always going to come back and play. Like, tomorrow he asked me, are you guys playing tomorrow? I want to get a run in. I'm like, dude, relax. You're on break. You don't need to get hurt. No, I want to play. So he really loves the game. He's going to stay here to the end. And if you know it or not, his brother played JV, so he was here 2 hours ago, and he hasn't left.
Speaking with Chris Clayton. Chris, when you see these young guards out in the outside perimeter of the arc now shooting in 2018, Steph Curry has been the NBA player that has kind of started that, but you guys were shooting from that far a long time ago. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think they should be working their shots from 12 to 13 or 8 to 10? Or what's your thought on these long shots?
I love it for the guys who can do it. But remember how the N1 era came in? Everyone thought they can dribble. Now everyone thinks they can shoot like Steph Curry without putting in the work. You got little kids pulling from half court who can't do a layup. So it's great for the guys who can make it, but also I hate to see all these young kids shooting 50-footers and they can't do a mid-range.
When you're working with these young players, and I know you work with a lot of players here in the community, what are some of the major fundamental techniques that you work with them on their shot? Let's talk technique.
First thing, of course, is balance, and then your form, and also when you practice, you got to go game speed. If you practice slow, you're going to play slow. So the thing I like to do is focus on game speed, your balance, and also your form and follow through the shot.
I see guys who aren't ready when the ball's coming to them in the air. Let's talk about footwork for a minute.
Footwork, you got to be ready. I always tell players, before the ball be there, be down in the stands ready to shoot the ball so you can catch it. You can pop up and go up in one movement. If you're standing up, you catch it. You got to go down, you go back up. That's 3 movements. That's too slow. You might get away with it now, but as you keep playing and going up to higher levels, you're not going to get that shot off.
Okay, I'll put you in the driver's seat at Liberty. You're Coach Hicks. What are you telling these Patriots to get back in this game?
The game, stop dribbling through the press. Just pass through it. Your guard is getting worn out because he's breaking the press, but he's tired. Just pass over the top of it, set up a half court. It's simple.
It's simple. It's simple, guys. What's your problem? If you're Coach Burt and you're at home and you want to stop the trifecta, because Liberty got the Froshoff and JV champions tonight. If you're Coach Burt talking to these drillers at home, how are they going to hang on and win this thing? What are you telling them?
Keep the intensity up. Keep Jones on heel. He's frustrated right now. And those football players are really taking advantage of the physical of the game, and they're making Liberty work for everything. Every shot Liberty's taken has been contested. Nothing's free.
Chris, final question. When guys see you walk in to this, as you say, grown man AAU game, do they just go, "Oh God, not Chris. I don't want to guard Chris"?
Yeah, sometimes, but they do local. But when I go over the hill and play in the Drew League, sometimes some of the guys hard to believe down 41 years old. But from seeing them play, this guy's still playing in their 50s. So I got a lot of years left as long as I keep playing. But a lot of times I get asked for my ID because they don't think I'm 41. When I'm playing some 35 and over, they don't think I'm 35.
Chris Clayton, one of my all-time favorite local players, and I call him the godfather of pure shooters in Kern County. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
It's a real pleasure. Enjoy the second half.
Thank you.
Chris Clayton, everybody. We'll take a quick break here on Kern9Network.com. Be back right after this.
Thank you, guys.
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at goarmy.com/team.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
As a millennial, for me it's all about the mobile.
And I'm somewhere in between. I still do everything online or through an ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our low mortgage rates, including 60-day rate lock and no cost to you. Purchase or refinance your home today.
Kern Schools, together we have something special.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks to Chris Clayton spending a few moments with us. We got a lot covered there. East High Blade.
VP, we got to thank you. I mean, you have these connections. You've been around the Bakersfield scene. We talked about that yesterday. And bringing a guy like Chris Clayton with such energy. I didn't know he won 3 Valley championships. And you look at that, just those 90s, those East High Bakersfield teams led by, Joe Dominguez and all that. I mean, absolutely wonderful to see that in there. Thank you for doing that, man.
You got it. I
That's
said,
awesome.
hey, how was your high school career? Oh, it was great. We never lost. I mean, hey.
Humble, right?
It's a pretty good answer. Yeah, it was a great career. We never lost. Working at sales. He's a sales and marketing representative at Teltech. I love it. He goes, I play in the grown man AAU, basically. Works with a lot of these players that you see tonight.
He brought up Uncle Drew right there. He does look like Uncle Drew from those Pepsi commercials, the Kyrie Irving stuff right there to look at.
That cat walks in, he says, I'm in the 40 and over league. No, you're not.
Yeah,
yes, I am. Another great legend behind us right here. Mike Lewis doing some dancing for me right over here. Hey, careful, Coach. You're on camera. We're talking about old men playing in basketball leagues. Coach Mike Lewis fits right in. Frontier legend. Well, Garces legend. Coaching the Frontier.
You got Ryan Guyvett right next to him.
Yep.
He's a driller legend on the gridiron.
They're all here tonight, and want to give special hello to the head basketball coach for the CSU Bakersfield Roadrunner men's team, Rod Barnes, and his assistant coach, Jeff Conroe here. And I'm sure they like what they see with Ronnie Stapp. It's been a fun night, 37-28.
It's easy. Just pass your way out of the full court.
Isn't that great?
I mean,
it's easy.
It's just easy.
I love Chris, man. Now that he's up here with us on camera, more people are going to say hi to him. Chris, you owe me a milkshake. Here we go. Second half basketball, last half of league play in the city. Gallardo will start with 3 fouls. Goes hard to the hole. No call. Ronnie Stapp with the rebound.
Got to give it up for Caleb Reeves sticking his head in there.
Esquivel grabs the shot, goes up with it, misses. And Isaiah Hill floats it in. And, they're going to call offensive foul on Isaiah Hill. Nobody on the Liberty side can believe it. And we told you Coach Burt was going to get one of those ultimately.
And Ronnie was waiting a long time. He was set. He was waiting right there. The only question is how far underneath the hoop he was. And maybe that's Hicks saying that. But he was waiting for him.
And he grinned at Isaiah after the call was made. Gave him a sly little smile and said, ha. Now Stapp will kick it over to Esquivel. Shane Jones in the ball game. You heard Chris talk about the athleticism and the toughness of these football players, how it helps. Let's not forget, Gallardo's got 3. So even if they try to just feed it into whoever he's guarding, Stapp comes across the top, floats it up, and Gallardo can't get in there to block it. Doesn't want to pick up his 3rd. Now here comes Isaiah Hill down the far side. Hill stops, goes to the hole, lost the handle.
Great defense by Banks right there. He's able to poke it away.
Jones for 3. Comes up short, Gallardo. 8th rebound of the night for Javier. Kadar thinks he's got one. Back of the rim doesn't go. All of a sudden, there's nobody down low to rebound for the Patriots. The other Patriots, nobody down there to rebound.
VP, there hasn't been a point scored yet this half, so.
Waller comes in, look out. Offensive foul on Kadar Waller, and Coach Hicks can't believe that one either, so 2 charges in a row. And now the Liberty crowd starting to get on these officials.
VP, we talked about this in the first half. It's those odd quarters that are so crucial. This 3rd quarter, whatever team makes the run is probably going to be the winner of the game, because you know the 4th quarter's got that urgency, but it's these 3rd quarters so critical.
Banks will walk it up. You've got Gallardo on the outside looking in. He's battling for the rebound. Boy, Javier is working down there. Don't think for a second he's giving up with 3 fouls.
And you know that Caleb Reeves is working hard too. Outsized, outmatched.
That's a 3 they need. They don't get it. Bruce Garofalo slides. Honea. Whistle blows, excuse the cough. And the foul is going to be on Roland Banks. Substitutions coming in for the Drillers. We see Geary come in, Bakakis come in, Ochoa come in.
They run about 8 deep. Good problem to have if you're BHS.
Honea backdoor to Hill. Floats it up, doesn't get it, but great follow by Cameron Burris-Garofalo.
Super athletic play right there.
Bakakis to Stapp. Stapp wants to go at Gallardo. Gallardo shuts him down, and it bounces off Ronnie Stapp, and everybody on the Liberty side thinking it rolled off Stapp's neck. But BHS keeps the basketball. Gallardo sticks his hand in there with 3 fouls and blocks the shot. Stapp to the paint. Kicks it over to Bakakis. Bakakis looks at Ochoa. Banks, a lot of contact, no call. Here comes Kadar. Waller over to Hill. Hill comes in, puts it up off the glass, and it goes. It's now a 5-point ball game. Liberty clawing their way back in. Under 5 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter.
And this 3rd quarter run, we've talked about it all game, is who's going to make the run that's going to sustain the lead for him.
Stapp thought about it, then steps back for 3, makes it. Bad pass, Isaiah Hill floated it up, didn't go, turnover.
Just like that, 10-point lead.
Cameron can't get it to go. The rebound Drillers. Roland Banks down the far side. Hard to the paint, stops, backdoor to Bakakis. Bakakis tries to float it up, doesn't go. Gallardo gets fouled by Bakakis. So Javier Gallardo putting in some serious effort. And Coach Bird did not like that attempt of a pass or a shot by Bakakis. And Costa picked up his 3rd foul. And I would think Henry's coming in for him. That's 3 for Costa. Ackerman's going to come in for Stapp. I would imagine it's just a breather for Stapp as they put the full court pressure on the Patriots. Gallardo floats it out to Burris Garofalo. He stops and he shoots, and it was deflected by Ackerman. Great job. Isaiah Hill floats that one out to Gallardo. Smart play. Javier to Burris Garofalo, back into Gallardo, makes the bucket.
Gallardo was moving on the give and go right there to allow for that bucket.
Ackerman down low. Throws up a bad shot.
Looking for that contact on Gallardo right there, giving that 4th foul.
Kadar feeds it down to Burris Garofalo. He goes hard to the baseline, but that's going to be a travel.
In the words of Chick Kern, a little bunny hop into pea patch right there. These middle mistakes for Liberty is preventing them from getting truly back into this game. There's a 5-point lead, but then silly mistakes turned it into a 10-point game. So things like this are these middle mistakes are gonna crush Coach Hicks.
Now it's back to an 8-point game. Ochoa hands it off to Stapp. Stapp across the top. Burris Garofalo hassling him. Ackerman puts it up and in and over Gallardo.
Ackerman, the sophomore, going right at the 6'7", 6'8". And I like the approach. Keep going at him.
Kadar Waller causes Joshua Geary to just grab him. We've seen this before. We don't know factually who the fastest guard is in the city, but in the top 3, Kadar Waller.
Who are your 3 right there?
I don't know. He's one of them.
I gotta throw Ziegler, Rizzi in the mix. You gotta put Isaiah Hill in the mix, and Banks in the mix. I mean, there's some fast ones out there.
Now Kadar pulls. Back of the rim doesn't go. Gallardo with the rebound. Floats it back out to Kadar Waller. Waller shakes and bakes, gets it up. Does it go? It does. Soft touch for Kadar Waller. And a timeout taken by Jeff Hicks. That was a quick call to get the attention of the officials. 44-36.
You know, I think it's a smart timeout. Slow down BHS a little bit, prevent them from going on a run, cut it within 8. It's not in double digits anymore, so.
2.5 left here in the third quarter on K9Network.com. I'm Vance Palm, joined by the K-Dub crew. K-Dub 1 is Kevin Willie. K-Dub 2 is our main man right here in the middle, Kyle Wiley. We are at Bakersfield High School for the last league game of this 2017-2018 season. The Drillers are 18-7, 8-1 in league. The Patriots are 22-3, 8-1 in league, and we're in the third quarter.
MVP, coach's nightmare is Ronnie Stapp. I mean, he is just a mismatch nightmare, and just his ability to dribble the ball and ability to pass the ball and play good defense. It's just been nightmarish for him.
Great to see some of the Liberty Patriot volleyball superstars and the BHS volleyball superstars here. Football players, baseball players, swimmers. Everyone here tonight. Coaches from across the region, from college to high schools, NBA players. What a fun night.
I look over there and I see Independence players, soccer, all that as well. So
strip. Reeves has it stolen from him. Burris Garofalo. A lot of crazy passes at this time of the game right now. Jimmy Henry ends up with it, gives it to Ochoa. Ochoa stops, gives the ball to Stapp, and what will the call be? They're going to call a jump ball. Stapp can't believe it. Javier Gallardo with 2:06 in the third and 3 fouls. Went in and just said, I'm going in.
He's not treading lightly. He's going right out.
I'm going in. They're a completely different basketball team with him in the ball game. Caden Ochoa will bring it in. Floats it over to Reeves. Reeves says, I'll take it. Oh, looked good for a second. Kadar Waller with the rebound. Kadar pushing it. Kadar kicks it over in the corner. They throw it back to Isaiah Hill. Hill on Caden Ochoa. Oh, look at that move. No, ball rolls in and out. Stapp with the rebound. Long pass in and out of the hands of Caleb Reeves. So Coach Burt really not stressed about it. He likes the up-tempo. It's a good look, actually. Should have been caught. 8-point ball game. for as crazy and exciting as this thing is, there's only been 80 points total scored, you know? It's not like a 90 to 80 score.
Like that Ridgeview West game last year, remember, it was way up there.
Great strip by Escobar, and Ochoa gives it right back to him to score. It's a 10-point game again. Liberty cannot get past the 10-point mark. Waller floats one over to Ochoa. Gallardo, always a great safety valve up top. Burris Garofalo to Gallardo. Gallardo trails so nice.
What about the vision of Burris Garofalo? We've seen that baseline penetration and kick to the backdoor cutter coming right there all night, and Gallardo's really picked it up and read that really well.
He's done that before, haven't he?
Easy buckets, yeah, absolutely.
All right, minute left here in the third quarter. BHS up by 8, 46-38. It's pressure cooker. Caden Ochoa threw it right into the hands of Javier Gallardo. Now Isaiah Hill just taking guys down. Hill comes in, puts it up. He's fouled, but he'll go to the line. Shot did not go. Foul on Caden Ochoa. Wow, Isaiah.
You know, VP, I got to give a little shout out while we have these free throws on there. I look over there and I see some Independence girls that are out there. There's a girl in a green sweatshirt, Mia Ontiveros. We did her game against Tehachapi. She had 6 goals in the game. One of the best individual performances of any sport I've ever seen, where someone is just in the zone and gets 6 goals in a game. It's simply amazing. And she's going to Humboldt State. It was both of us were there at the game. It was pretty spectacular to watch.
I remember you and Hutchins. That was a great call, great game. She's going to be a lumberjack, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Going to Humboldt State. Hey, look at this. The Patriots within 6, 46-40. BHS still leading with a half a minute to go here in this third quarter. They've been up pretty much the whole deal. Stapp up top. Hill with a steal. Isaiah Hill now being worked by Ackerman, and the Patriot crowd can't believe no call. And how about this? Jimmy Henry scores with 22 seconds in. The Liberty Patriot fans and coaching staff.
I think that was Esquivel with the steal.
Sure
steal
was.
Right there,
Great play. A bad pass by Isaiah Hill, the one-handed left-hander. And now Stapp just blowing by guys. Oh, behind the back to Esquivel. If that went, this place would have just blown up. And a big rebound put back up by Roland Banks. Rebound, and that's going to do it for the third quarter. So 48-40. Hey, what about taking a break? How does that sound? Give us a chance to catch our breath here.
We got to stay full steam ahead.
KernHighNetwork.com. We'll be back right after this. Woo!
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at GoArmy.com/team.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
As a millennial, for me, it's all about the mobile.
And I'm somewhere in between. I still do everything online or through an ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our low mortgage rates, including 60-day rate lock and no cost.
Okay, here we go. Fourth quarter. Last quarter of league play here for the season and on KernHighNetwork.com. Southwest Yosemite League showdown, and it's been the Drillers that have had a lead pretty much the entire game. And the fourth quarter starts off with a foul by Jimmy Henry.
You know, we didn't see a lot of Jimmy Henry early on when they played Centennial, but I really like his game and his commitment to defense, and he is unafraid of Isaiah Hill. What a showdown.
Hill, long shot, can't get it to work. Some great hustle over there by Dakota Ochoa, and a foul will be called. So Coach Hicks, during that timeout, And that foul's going to be on Hector Gonzalez from Liberty. But Coach Hicks during that timeout basically saying, here it is, fellas. Here we go, guys. Leave everything out there. I know it sounds cliche-ish, but leave everything out there. We got to go. He said they're only concerned about a league title tonight. Not about seedings, not about anything but a league title. Jones, nice fake, comes in and puts it off the glass. That was a beautiful play by Shane Jones.
And he's going right at Gallardo to try to get that fourth foul.
Hill, beautiful pass, and the three from Dakota Ochoa, and the junior knocks it down. Stapp floats one down, bad pass. He's not happy with Ackerman, but Greg Burke's not happy with him. Just a real dangerous needle threader at this point. You don't want to let Liberty get back in this thing. They're down 7, 50-43. Waller, right down here in front of us. He goes to work on Ackerman. Kadar Waller kicks it over in the corner to Ochoa. Is he hot? No, he's not. Oh, and that's going to be a foul. Oh, wow, they called it on Dakota Ochoa, and Coach Hicks, when the official first brought up number 1, I think they thought it was going to be on Roland Banks, but a loose ball foul on Liberty. 7-point lead for the Drillers. The Drillers did an amazing job tonight hanging with all this pressure. When somebody's on your tail the entire game, you just feel it. You just know it.
And they bring in Alex Ojonea in there, and he's had a quiet game. He hasn't really got going at all for the Patriots.
Stapp, the long bomb.
Wow.
Back to a 10-point game. Hill has to sprint to get the ball, and now the foul is going to be called on Shane Jones, and Isaiah Hill is mad that he didn't want the foul. He wanted to break away and get rolling. But it was called on Shane Jones. 6:39 remains here in the fourth quarter. Not a single soul has left this gym. Matter of fact, they are still walking in. Word gets out that there's still 7 minutes. Oh, and that's a tough break right there for the Patriots. Alex Honea received the inbounds pass and was out of bounds. Ouch. The Patriots won the game a few weeks ago at home. Patriots trying to somehow come back in this deal, and Ronnie Stapp called for basically a travel, I believe. He hung onto it and came back down with it. Double dribble, one of those calls.
Weird play, out of bounds, could have been something, yeah.
Pick your call. Kadar Waller splits the defense, hangs on, but then he doesn't hang on. Loses the rock, and now it's Stapp over to Escobar. Escobar goes hard to the hole, and a little bit of contact. Coach Burt can't believe that no call made there, but more than anything, it's a 12-point lead now for the Drillers. Kadar Waller floats one over to Hill. Hill fouled on the way to the hole. Oh no, they just call it out on BHS. Liberty crowd all over the officials. Thought that Isaiah Hill got manhandled on the way to the hole. 6 minutes exactly, 12-point lead for the Drillers. And that's going to be a foul on Ronnie Stapp, I think. No? And Gallardo can't believe it. And Ronnie Stapp is cracking up laughing.
That's his fourth foul right there.
And Gallardo can't believe the call.
Coach Hicks needs to, we got 6 minutes left to go. He's got 4 fouls. We'll bring him out for the last 3 minutes.
Well, if not, Greg Burt's going to go at him. Escobar for a big three. Can't get it. Nothing but air. Here comes Isaiah Hill. Coach Hicks looking for a call. There's a great pump fake. Now Gallardo's going to come in. Gallardo's going to be, that's his 5th one. He's out.
Gone.
And, Coach Hicks has got to get him off, and Isaiah's got to get him off too.
And I think that's going to be a tee. Clap right in his face.
We knew there would come a moment. There was no technical called. I don't believe there was. So the officials keeping everybody calm and cool in this thing. So Gallardo gets his 5th. And now it is a timeout, Liberty, probably the best timeout of the night.
A lot of emotions going on right there.
Kyle, we knew there would come a time when the pressure cooker got to one of the two teams, and we just witnessed it getting to Liberty.
And I'm going to tell you, that was an absolute, Gallardo's got to be more headsy on that. He's going full steam right at 2 drillers, and it could have been a charge on either one of the drillers that were right there, so.
A very easy call to make.
Easy call.
And on top of all of that.
And I think there was frustration on the 4th foul maybe. Gallardo was upset. And all he did is didn't know how to channel that frustration and anger and cost his team with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. You don't have a 6-7 presence in there. He's got to watch and be the best teammate he possibly can be, for this last little bit.
The officials kept it cool and did not issue a technical foul. Greg Burt was working it.
Remember that foul, technical foul on Kadar Waller for setting the ball down on the ground, and there's not a technical foul right here. A little bit of inconsistency, in my opinion, on that one right there. So,
one thing you can say now is, obvious statement, but I'll go ahead and make it. Now Coach Hicks knows what he doesn't have for the next 5:20, and he works with that. He knows that he does not have Gallardo, so there's no managing fouls with his biggest player. It's now, here's who we have, and let's rework the system. And so
now it's got to be Burris as that inside presence right there.
Burris Garofalo is going to be the center. Stapp thought about pulling up, goes inside.
Now, look what they do right off the bat. Go right at that vacated presence right there.
Caleb Reeves with a bucket. Oh, it's passed inside and stolen. Jimmy Henry with the steal. The hassle by Ronnie Stapp made it possible, and now the biggest lead of the game for the Drillers. They're up 16. Waller over to Ochoa. Ochoa pulls the trigger. Does not go. He waited too long. Now Waller has it. There's an issue with the shot clock. Coach Burt not happy that Dakota Ochoa had 5 seconds to decide whether to shoot it or not. It worked against Ochoa, but it ends up staying in the Patriots' hand. And I'll tell you what, with 4.5 to go here in the 4th quarter, we're going to see what Liberty's made of right now. Will they continue to be disciplined and make good choices with the ball? Or will they try to go for the quick comeback with some long bombs? Now we have Isaiah Hill being guarded out there by Caleb Reeves. Isaiah Hill stops, throws it. It's in Ochoa's hands for a second, and he hands it off to Waller in traffic. 4 on the shot clock. Waller has the ball stolen, or does he? Waller up and in, and it goes! It had to go. It has to count, and it does. Wow. Kadar Waller with .00000001 second left on the shot clock. Gets fouled. It goes in. And now he's at the line. Woo. Kadar Waller, the junior. Drops it in. And the officials coming over to have a chat with the table real quick. The official scores, just kind of brushing up on some things, refreshing them as we get here towards the latter part of this 4th quarter. That was a 3-point play, so it brings it back to a 59-46, 13-point lead for the Drillers.
And I don't know if that was an official timeout or if that was
it was official timeout. They came over to talk to the...
So is that a 3-point play? Because he just made the free throw.
Now I'm confused.
Yeah.
Should be Driller ball on the baseline.
Kenny Chappell's pointing, the head official is pointing it to get it to him.
Got it. Okay. 13-point lead for the Drillers. 4 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. Roland Banks bringing it up against Kadar Waller. Banks wants to go left. Banks comes in and makes the shot. Wow. Wow. Jimmy Henry going to work on Isaiah Hill on defense. Ochoa picks up his dribble in the corner. Oh, goodness. Now it's going to be Jimmy Henry. Henry lays it up and in. And we're going to see Garrett Pavletich come into the game. Ochoa picks up his dribble again. He continues to pick up his dribble. Watch out, watch out. Timbers can go on these things. Careful now.
Ochoa really hasn't gotten to a rhythm. He's a set shooter right there, and he just has been flustered all night. He's at 1-3. Other than that, he hasn't really got going. Either has Honea, and so two guys that they rely on to be that extra piece to complement both Hill and Waller just really haven't been getting it done.
3:13 remains in the fourth quarter. Drillers up big, 63-46. Henry stops and travels. His feet scraped across the paint. So as we see Hector Gonzalez come back in, Jeff Hicks just continues to look at his bench and try to figure something out here. The Drillers have led pretty much the whole thing. Burris Garofalo, he loses the handle, and it'll be Driller basketball. It's starting to become a frustrating episode for the Liberty fans. Stapp. Henry on the baseline. Strong move, throws it out to Escobar. Back over to Banks. Banks to Stapp. That looks good. Oh, just a hair short. Rebound Patriots.
Great ball movement, though, especially as you're trying to kill some clock. They took about 30 seconds off the clock right there just by being patient in the offense.
Hill. This is what I was talking about. Will they just start firing away? They may feel like they need to now, but now Roland Banks is throwing it up off the glass. 19-point lead for the Drillers. Burris Garofalo in the corner decides he'll pull. Does that go? It just does. Wow, and a timeout by Coach Hicks. Hits the back of the rim, bounces straight up, and then right back down through the hoop. 65-49.
So we have playoff forms are due tomorrow, and they're going to start making announcements on Friday and Saturday. I think it's Friday they're going to start letting people know how they seed things out going on there. And talking to Coach Hicks beforehand, he knows how valuable this game is because of their ranking as they just moved up. So it's just a critical and crucial for them that they somehow in this next 2 minutes, we've seen crazier things, VP. I'm not saying it's completely out of reach, but 16 points is a big deficit to get back on as they finish off this fourth quarter.
KernHighNetwork.com live exclusive coverage of Kern High School District sports. It has been a fun one tonight. And it's not over. 2:09 left. Next Saturday, March 24th, you guys have a big gig.
Yeah, we have a big gig because unfortunately you're going to be with CSUB. I say fortunately, that's a big-time gig that you have right there going on. But we are going to be live streaming the Masters CI Central section, and there's probably about 7 or 8 kids that are ranked number 1 in state, and you're going to see Mr. Nevels from Clovis,
wow,
who is going for his 4th state championship. I repeat that, 4th state championship. So we're excited.
Banks works it up the near side. Patriots pressure.
Passing the ball really well. Love it.
Escobar has it stripped, but then picks it back up. Not back court because it was a scrum. Escobar comes in, lays it up and in, and the foul. Gabriel Escobar, that's a big time play. With 1:45 to go, had the ball stripped from him, went and got it, then went from the half-court stripe all the way in, and now we're going to see Dustin Creech and Zach Rigby in the ball game. I think Coach Hicks wants to get some of his guys some pressure moment minutes here, this last league game before they get into the playoffs. Escobar makes it a 3-point play. Ochoa into Hill. Hill down the near side. Isaiah Hill tries to thread the needle. He's in trouble. Picks it back up. Can't dribble. Ochoa.
Wow.
From near half court. Wow. A minute 15 left in this deal. And that'll be a foul on Isaiah Hill. As we're going to see Ronnie Stapp come back into the game with a $1:14 left. So Isaiah Hill will come out of the game, and the Liberty crowd will give him a nice round of applause. The junior. BHS drillers really made an effort to make sure he did not have one of those stellar nights. Did a great job. We're about to dip below the 1 minute mark. The drillers with a 16-point lead. Banks comes into the paint, floats it up. Ooh, I think people thought he was going to flush that.
Throw that down, yeah.
Wow. Chris Clayton like that.
He's got such a smooth game right there.
Ochoa comes in, floats it up, and that'll be an offensive foul to the very end. The drillers taking charges.
And what a turnaround. Difference of playing at Liberty and you lose by 5 points. It's always tough to win on the road. But this is turned into a blowout. You know, in this fourth quarter, it's been all drillers in the second half right here. And I think when Gallardo came out of the game with 5 or 6 minutes left to go, really changed the complexion because you saw the drillers get in attack mode and go right into the paint. And you're starting to see this crowd trickle out because I think they're starting to figure out that this has been all drillers this half.
They're starting to figure out they got a long ways to walk to their car. This place was packed. Half a minute to go. Jeremiah Johnson back in for the drillers.
Look at this patience. You know, they've done this last few minutes where they spread it out and
10 on the shot clock. Who's going to be the lucky driller? Coach Burt holds up the fist. It's going to be Banks.
Wow.
And it ends up being a 20-point game, 72-52, and the drillers finish 9-1 and are your Southwest Yosemite League champions. The Patriots fall to 8-2, 22-4. Great final here for league play as the Patriots and drillers will shake hands, coaches meet, and the media starts to pounce on everybody. They want interviews, they want shots. I don't blame them. That was a big win, 72-52. The Bakersfield High School Drillers are your 2017-2018 Southwest Yosemite League champions. Congratulations to them. Hats off to head coach Jeff Hicks and his Liberty Patriots. Great season so far. Don't forget, we've got playoffs, and it'll be interesting, as Kyle talked about, as we get into the seeding discussions and who ends up where. Before we go too far, I want to thank Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, the United States Army, PAB Solar and Communications, Premier Lighting, Raymond's Trophies, and of course, Tony's Pizza. We'll get to that in a few moments. Kyle, before we go, is our last basketball game of the season. We do have our All-Star game next month, but it's our last competitive basketball game. I want to thank you for just a stellar job for our girls' games, our boys' games. Kevin, thank you for all that you've done here. Why don't you, if you could, thank our superintendents again.
Yeah, we got to thank, from Dr. Schaefer to Dr. Brenda Lewis to Dr. Dean McGee, Dr. Scott Cole, and Dr. Mike Zolfa. I want to thank all of them for their support and everything that they've done throughout the whole time. And Stan Green, his vision, he was out here tonight, really supports and spearheads. You may see him with the camera every now and again, but he really cares about kids, and his vision and his care for kids is infectious and contagious for all of us.
Kevin Willie, first of all, before we get into our Tony's Pizza Player of the Game discussion, your thoughts on this 2017-2018 basketball season?
There were so many good players this year, and so many that were on the verge last year that really stepped up their game and really matured, and it was just nice to watch. And then to end it with a game like this is just incredible.
I will tell you this, VP. I'm going to echo what Kevin said. We had other schools that were rising to the challenge. You know, it's fun seeing Foothill get back into the mix and do their thing. VP, you talk about royalty all the time, and when you and I go and do a Foothill game and you see the likes of Reggie Phillips, who's one of the all-time greats, I mean, it just, Wesley Davis, what he's doing over there on the hill is absolutely amazing. I just love everything that's going on. So a lot of stuff that's going on, a lot of great teams all up and down this.
The North High girls last night.
North High girls winning it. Shafter girls have won like 23 straight. So we got a lot of Kern High School District teams that are doing really, really well.
Well, it's Valentine's Day, so let's give out some love for the Tony's Pizza Player of the Game. Let's start with Kevin Willie. Kevin, Valentine's love with Tony's Pizza Player of the Game.
I don't even know where to start. Stapp had a great game. He was probably responsible for most of the points. I don't know if you kept stats over there, but
mental stats.
I almost have to throw a dart at the roster.
Well, I'm going to go with you, Kevin.
I think Stapp is. I mean, everybody.
Yeah.
Banks, Henry.
Yeah.
They all did great, but
you make a great point. It was an absolute team effort tonight, but you're going to go with Stapp.
I think I'm going to go with Stapp. I know we've given him one before, but he really shone in this game.
We actually haven't given him
he
one
hasn't
before.
won Tony's Pizza Player of the Game yet.
And I'm going to echo with Kevin. Ronnie Stapp was the difference in both halves for this Driller team. So he had a great game, and my hats are off to him. And VP, I'm going to say this. I've seen a lot of maturation with Ronnie Stapp too. You know, we've seen some times where the emotions get the best of him. We saw that last year. This year, he's played with a different poise, a different type of thing, and he just continues to grow and develop his game. So my vote, we look at that, I know it's 66, but I think you get 67%. But I'm going to go with Ronnie Stapp on this one.
And he's a definite leader of that team. I mean, some of those other guys, the heat got to him, and he ran over there and calmed them down. And
okay, you guys, you're selling me hard. You're selling me hard. Let me just tell you this. I thought a great game was played tonight by a few players. Gabriel Escobar had a really nice game as a senior leader. He's one of those guys that when he gets the ball in his hands, you go, oh, yeah, that guy too. There's that guy too. I feel very, very comfortable and safe with a guy like Gabriel Escobar on my team. Shane Jones came in and had some good minutes for this team. Roland Banks, not a good first half, fantastic second half.
Oh, man.
How about Jimmy Henry, the never-ending, always hard-playing Jimmy Henry? So a lot of great stuff tonight, but I will concur, and it's going to be 100% vote for Ronnie Stapp as our Tony's Pizza Player of the Game. Without Ronnie Stapp, I don't believe it's a 20-point win. I won't say they won't get the win, but it's not going to be a 20-point deficit. So Ronnie Stapp, our final Tony's Pizza Player of the Game in league play. We certainly hope you enjoyed all of our winter sports. We still have wrestling next Saturday night to put a cap on winter sports, and then we have some more exciting things that we will let you know about as we go. So, for the K-Dub crew, Kevin Willie, Kyle Wiley, for everybody in the Kern High School District and our fantastic sponsors, congratulations to BHS League Champs tonight. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a great rest of the Valentine's Day evening, and it's a 3-day weekend for all the education people, so good for you. Good night and God bless for the KernHighNetwork.com.